Hi there. In this lecture we join Magnus Carlsen with white pieces against Linia Dominguez Perez. This is in the 2009 Chorus Group A round 10. So d4 for Magnus. We go into the Grunfeld defense, in particular the Russian variation Queen b3. So this often gives white a strong looking center, but the queen might be subject to tempo gains. So there's up and downs with this variation. We have black castling, bishop e2, knight fd7, bishop e3, knight b6. The queen goes to d3 to keep supporting d4. f5 is quite a radical way of playing this, and we have rook d1, f4, bishop c1, e5, d5. So the tone is set here for actually mining through a diagonal to get to the king. Just think about this diagonal for a moment. If we broke it down, that would be getting to the king, which does have dark square weaknesses. There's a guardian bishop, but there are dark square weaknesses. So bear that in mind. We have c6, knight f3, c takes, knight takes, d5, knight takes, and now queen b3. This keeps a lock on the e5 pawn, a blockading lock. If e takes, black could play bishop f5, and here, knight d7. Let's say we castle rook c8, knight e1, knight c5. Black's got actually a small edge. That e4 is giving black, part of what's giving black a small edge. Black's got no problems here. If after rook c8 we dared to take on a7, e4, knight d4, f3, and there are variations here which are very nice for black, including rook takes c1, rook takes, queen g5 check, king h1, bishop h3 threatening queen g2. Black gets back the exchange with bishop g2 check to deflect the rook away from c1. And after queen takes b2, black is better. So we've got to be careful. This is good to keep a lock on the e5 pawn. We want to mine through that, but first we want it fixed on e5. We have king h8, bishop c4. If e takes d5, bishop f5 is an even position. Again, this, black's got an energetic position. e4 right away might give white a small edge. So anyway, bishop c4. We have knight c6. Bishop takes d5, queen e7. If bishop g4, we can actually just take on c6. We're hitting the queen. That would be a disaster for black. So queen e7, getting out of harm's way. h3, knight b4, bishop c4, b5. Bishop takes b5. Black has a tactical operation in mind. Knight takes a2 to try and deflect the queen away from b4. If bishop e6, this seems to be equal. Black could exchange off light square bishops and say check, knight d4. We're not mining through that diagonal anymore. This is a different kind of position. It's just even. But knight takes a2. We have bishop d2. If queen takes a2, queen b4 check picks up the bishop on b5. And this is just going to be an even position. So bishop d2. We have rook b8, queen a4, queen b7. And now, when it's just castles, letting his bishop go for this knight. Queen takes b2, queen takes a7. So 4 pawns each. We have queen c5, some pressure on e5 evident. Bishop e6, queen d6. We can't really, well, if we could take on e5, but it's not so much fun as what we're about to see. This position, bishop b3, rook b1, queen takes e4. Here, after taking bishop takes knight d7, maybe we have a small edge, but nothing more. We have queen d6, bishop b3, rook b1, queen takes e4, and now bishop c3. We can see the diamonds diagonal mining apparatus being set up against e5. We really want a knight takes e5, but supported by a rook as well. Rook b to d8. If rook fe8, we can play knight d2, and here queen a3, let's say bishop c2, we can take on b8 and rook e1, and this resulting position actually with queen a1 now, rook c1, the resulting positions are about even. In fact, here if black's careful, e5 drops, but it's not fatal. This position just goes to a rook and pawn endgame, even. So anyway, rook b to d8, we have queen a3, bishop c2, rook b5. You can see that this e5 pawn is being attacked from different angles, and now a cute little battery, queen b2 against e5. So rook, battery, the knight, things are targeting e5. So we're a pawn down, but we want to open up this diagonal. We want to destroy the king on the diagonal. e4, we're just taking the bishop on g7. So bishop d3, we have now rook b7, queen c2. If bishop takes f1, this shows the destructive nature of the diagonal. We just play bishop takes e5. And on rook d7, bishop takes g7 check. Taking on d7, we end up being the exchange up, well, or a piece up. Well, we're just going to be a piece up, in fact, here. So this line, we're just a piece up, crushing. So that's not possible because of bishop takes e5. It's far too dangerous here for black. We can see more vividly, you know, if takes, just to show more vividly, check, and then, you know, getting into g7. Or black could delay with rook f6, but that's the point. We get to g7 mating. So very dangerous. So we have queen c2. Queen b4 is a very careful move, avoiding key tempo gainers. If the queen had gone to a1, black could take on f1. We could take on e5. There's queen d1 here. And we could take on g7, but it's not fatal. Rook b1, check, and rook a8. And it's not fatal. Rook takes, rook takes. This situation simplifies out to an even position. So queen b4, we have rook fe8, and now rook e1. So not only we've got the diagonal in mind, we've also got this rank in mind for mining to h7 as well. There's two aspects of mining right to the king here. We have bishop e2, and now it happens, we're breaking through, knight takes e5. This is an amazing shot, because it seems as though, hold on, isn't bishop e2 designed to stop the pressure? Black's got two pieces defending e5. Why is this any good? So knight takes, we have bishop takes. In the case of rook takes e5 here, we have a very powerful, quite clear continuation here. Can you see what it is for 10 points? Maybe we don't need to be completely obsessed with this diagonal when we're also mining a rank. Choose which one's the simplest and easiest way to get to the king for concretely, you know, mating. We can actually play bishop takes e5. If we took the metaphor too far about mining the diagonal, we might consider rook takes g7. This is not so clear. Or, you know, the king could go to f7 here, and it's not so clear as the alternate variation. Although white is better here, the alternate way after rook takes e5 is, guess what? We can switch to what is going to be mating. What actually works for mating? That's the question. What works for mating here? It's bishop takes e5. We're two bishops down, but we've mined the rank. And look how queen e7 is mating here. So bishop c7, unless black gives up the queen, this is a desperate thing to do. Black's going to be absolutely clearly winning there. So that's a fascinating aspect here. Whatever works is whatever is mating. But the idea of mining a diagonal is still fun, but we're also mining a rank here. So anyway, back to the game. Bishop takes e5 is played. So what's the problem here? We haven't got access to e7, right? Because the rook's guarding e7. Guess what Magnus plays in this position, which is absolutely devastating. Okay. It's actually bishop takes e5 check. So it looks as though We haven't got access to queen e7. So what's going on here? We haven't got access to the diagonal. But the thing is, we can play queen takes f4. And there's no real defense here for black. Queen f5 was tried, and now queen h6 ends the game. How does black actually defend h7 and g7? Black can defend g7, but then h7 is checkmate. Or queen h5 x-ray defending a7, but then queen g7 is checkmate. So this ends the game. There's no real defense here. If black had tried rook f5 instead, queen h6, and here queen takes h7, black can defend g7 but not h7. So absolutely crushing stuff here. Queen h6 ending the game. What a wonderful illustration of mining to the king, but also be practical about it. What actually checkmates in the end? If it's a rank instead of a diagonal, fine. We don't have to be totally carried away and obsessed with the diagonal. Find what works the best in the variations, in the concrete variations. But it's a good guide. We're kind of mining our way through the obstacles. If we flip back earlier in the game, if we have this pattern in mind, we're against this particular structure, that if we dismantle e5, we're also undermining f4, which was decisive later, once we take out e5. So the mining operation is also undermining black's pawn chain in this particular case. So it's interesting how the pieces pivoted around the e5 until this sacrifice, which didn't even seem as though it was possible, but it is. It's absolutely possible here. Wonderful stuff. Thanks very much. Hi all, I hope you enjoyed this free Magnus Carlsen lecture. I will be doing quite a few, in fact, because I'm working on a course about universal chess style with a lot of Magnus Carlsen game examples. So I hope you can actually support my channel indirectly by checking out my courses page at Kingscrusher TV. It has great discount codes quite often. So I have a number of courses I've been working on in the last few years. As you can see, I've been busy. Some of these have become Udemy bestsellers in the past or currently, like the Complete Beginner's Guide to Chess is a current bestseller. The Complete Guide to Chess Tactics was previously a Udemy bestseller. So I hope you can check out the courses, and there are free lecture offerings you can check out as well within these. If you really want to get an idea more about the course, you can also expand the course structure when you go and check out a course. So I hope you check out the Kingscrusher TV page, which has these great discount codes attached to all these links. So it's better than going to Udemy directly if you want chess courses, okay, at really affordable prices. So thanks again. Comments, questions, likes, shares appreciated. Thanks very much.